Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Inside Scoop, episode 22 this time. We having Yassine on and Oscar. Hey,
Hello.
boys.
Yo, yo.
How was your week? How were your weeks?
My week was okay, I guess.
Did you fulfill your purpose? Did you do the things that you set out to do?
Yes, I have been doing, yes. So last time I said I was gonna make an app.
Hmm.
I was already thinking about making the app for the past month, like planning it, trying to test some designs out, messing around with color schemes, and
Design work.
yes, design work. That's one thing that people underestimate. Design, like you just think that, oh yeah, whatever. Just put like a bunch of blocks together and it all works out.
Yeah.
But it's actually like harder than you think it is, because sometimes you can doubt yourself on your design. Like you look at it so many times and then you're like, is this right? Is this right? Like, am I putting things in the right place? Like, am I sure that this is going to be good? You know? And I've had a lot of struggle, like, because I had to like redesign like 3 times, and I had a lot of struggle doing that. Like, I went around with like 5 different color schemes and like 3 different layouts, and I think I'm up to a point where I'm like actually there, but I'm still uncertain. Still, there's still a bit of uncertainty.
Just like iterative design, sort of.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I think it just all boils down to like, if I knew like the basics, like if I actually properly read into like color palettes and UI, UX like properly, maybe looked at how other people did it online as well, I think that would have helped a lot in terms of like time it took for me to design, because I should have spent that time making the app, like actually making it.
Yeah.
But it just took way too long.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys
I
experienced
can
that.
imagine, man. This goddamn thing with the design. So
Yeah.
I wanted to like steer this episode more towards the topic of coming back to the basics, or sort of just taking a step back from the thing that you're doing and sort of looking at it from another perspective. Because if you're constantly like, I struggled from that. I've been so immersed in making that game that I just did it every day, all day. And the place that I'm in right now is like a huge crossroad where I'm still confused as to what the game is going to actually turn out to be. And it's most likely because I haven't taken breaks. I haven't taken time to reflect on things. I haven't taken time to design, to do the basic things, to just like sketch it out. I was like coming at it from the mind of a programmer, It's like when you're doing a game or when you're doing an app, obviously, because we're sort of programmers by our nature here, and wanting to use that skill to implement something, to use our skill, obviously. So like, and I think this is where this is one of the pitfalls where you can find yourself in as a programmer, where you are trying something more creative than just, create a system which, for example, interfaces with a database, right? Like, I'm sure if we were to work in a company somewhere and we were programmers, then we would probably be okay. However, now we're trying some independent stuff, which requires more pieces, like we need to design more moving pieces and everything. And
that's interesting. Yeah, because when you have like a company with people dedicated to design and people who just do programming, everybody can just like focus on their little thing and then just stay in that zone. But when you have to like move between these two kind of very different parts, where in programming you're solving bugs and you're like really thinking about the code, and then you have to take a step back to think about the design, it can be hard to move between the two, I guess.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm especially experiencing this right now. It's like I've never done a game like full on, like from zero to everything, like A to Z. Never done a game. So I'm I'm also very glad that I'm failing right now. It's because, it's easier to learn from failures than it is to learn from successes. So
Yeah.
I'm gaining invaluable knowledge. But at the same time, yeah, as Oscar said, you're right. You just find yourself in this, like hitting this wall, where on the other side of the wall, there's the game design, which, I haven't learned how to do. And I'm sure there are game designers out there who say, oh, only if I knew how to program. Only if I knew how to implement something. Oh my God, my ideas would come to life. All of the things that I have in my sketchbook, I could create so many nice applications and everything. But yeah, this is where we struggle. And I think this is what's important when you're making a good team, for example, for entrepreneurship or anything. When you want to do a venture, you need a team to build a team of people. But when you're doing it solo, well, that's another question. It's kind of hard.
You gotta learn like how to design, also to program as well. Like we're still learning how to program.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm still learning.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're always learning. Yeah.
Also business as well. Can't think about that. If you're actually publishing it.
Yeah, you need to learn about that. You need to learn. Like honestly, this experience is very, very valuable for me personally because, well, okay, what is a game? Well, it is an interactive experience, meaning it's audio, it's visuals, it is storytelling, it is interactive. It's an interactive medium on top of all of the, it's pretty much more interactive than a movie or a podcast or anything, right? So it's a storytelling. Plus, you want to probably do some marketing and you want to learn about the business of it. So it's just like all of these pieces and everything's moving and slowly shifting, and every day in the market, things change and shift, and it's just hard.
Anyway, and a lot of people like included. I don't know a lot about money as well. Like with the virus happening and like how governments are just popping out money out of nowhere. Like it doesn't make sense to me sometimes. So I need to definitely
There's a good video about that I shared recently on Facebook from Cold Fusion, I think.
Cold Fusion. Oh yeah, I've heard of that channel. Yeah.
About money.
What do you think about it?
Where's it come from?
Because it comes from like a gold pot. Like where does it come from?
It's really good. It's a really good introduction to the topic.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll consider watching that then. Because I definitely need to spend a good week before I publish, learning where all the money is going to go. If I so happen to publish it,
Oh yeah, at least a week if you want to.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to know where the government's money comes from, it's our pockets. So.
Yeah, tax in it.
That's all the debt that the government is racking up to do all this is going to come out of our pockets, obviously.
Right.
Well, that is kind of obvious, but what the video on YouTube talks about that I shared from Cold Fusion is that the government's saving banks and stuff from bankruptcy and stuff with buying their loans and stuff.
Oh.
Buying their debts, sorry, and then we pay the debts in tax.
Wow.
Whoa, really?
They are milking us. What?
No joke.
I was a bit skeptical about this saying, but now I think it makes more sense. They say either you steal from the government or the government steals from you. So it's just pretty much like who's gonna be first, If you're not gonna steal from the government, they're gonna, steal it from you. I'm not saying I'm not giving my input on this. I don't know what to think about this thing, but it's it's out there. And some people look at it objectively and say that, it's either, that's pretty much what successful businessmen do apparently. They try to evade tax and avoid tax. Use offshore accounts and do all sorts of stuff because otherwise you can't really become rich, I guess. That's what their spiel is. But
well, it's part of running a big business.
Yeah, most likely.
Whatever you're allowed to do, you should do it, and the government has to regulate. And yeah,
I think they have that power as well, since they have so much money.
I mean, imagine Google, for example, Google or Amazon, being such a big power in the United States, having so much money that you can almost like start to influence the country itself. Not only financial, for example, Facebook having an impact on people socially, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they can believe whatever they find on Facebook, and if Facebook moderates it accordingly, they can shape opinions. Yeah.
They can direct certain posts to you as well, depending on what you search for. Even Twitter does this as well. Like, all social media companies do this.
And then the executive order from that's a bit of an unrelated thing, but what Trump did when he posted a thing saying, when looting starts, shooting starts. And
I heard about that.
And then Twitter, well, they didn't really ban the tweet, but they sort of
tried to remove it.
They hid it somehow, so it became hidden. No people saw it. Something like that happened, and then the White House retweeted the tweet, and anyway, and then Trump got mad. I'm sure, because why otherwise would he release an executive order saying that, like, taking away some powers from the social media platforms to police themselves, because that's pretty much censorship.
Yeah,
and I like the way everything's moving, because the platform is literally a platform. That's what it stands for. Well, the word platform itself means you can provide a ground, a base, a platform for someone to step on and say their opinions. However, if that platform, when you stand up and start preaching your word, because it's free speech, at least that it should be. And then the platform is sort of like, opens up under you and you just go down to hell somewhere. It's like, oh, hey, look at that person disappear. Well, too bad. And then, because they literally police the opinions of other people. And,
and
it's a dangerous thing and a dangerous
very
topic.
Dangerous, yeah. Maybe we need to go back to the basics of human rights.
Oh,
Damn.
I mean, true thing. They should be enforced. And I don't know what's right, what's wrong, though.
Yeah.
Though I know what's right, what's left, because those platforms are usually liberal and they are more left-leaning. So to police some, to censor some Republican opinions is usually a trend, which people noticed,
Yeah.
But
and especially with the things that's been happening around, like the riots and the protests.
No, these things are huge now. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, like, not everyone's, like, people's focus has not been not in the right direction. Not what we should focus on. Like, people have been saying, like, fund the police and but, like, I think we should focus more on like funding the people instead. Because if people are, like, angry and poor, and there's only going to be so much more violence. And like, the approach doesn't make sense. Like, the government's approach doesn't make sense. Like, they should be focusing on the fundamentals. What makes the country is the people.
Oh yeah. Have you guys heard about the autonomous zone out there, somewhere in Seattle or so? Protesters blocked off like a part of, I think, like a block, put out their tents and stuff, and they sort of, occupied pretty much an area of a city.
And I haven't heard about that.
But it's quite a new thing, and
by autonomous, do you mean self-governed?
well, I think that's what it was described as, more of like in air quotes, but
I haven't heard about that. I think we should maybe stick on the subject of something we know more about.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm always interested to learn more about these topics and to just sort of pick our brains on this a bit to see what people are thinking, because I hear this online a lot by people saying, "Oh no, we don't discuss politics here," or like, "No, we don't discuss religion or politics. We're good," And then there are some other people who provide, their platforms. Like I was on this game developer Twitch stream, and he's a bright guy, does daily YouTube videos on game design and everything. And yeah, and his opinion was exactly the opposite. He's like, yes, this is what we need to do. We need to discuss these things. But yeah, I agree with you, Oscar. It's really not the topic today.
Sure, but I think we should educate ourselves on the topics first.
Yeah, sure thing. But we can also provide some opinions on what we think as people uninfluenced with other opinions. It's sometimes you could find very interesting solutions being born out of situations where some people who don't know much about a subject sort of discuss and try and come up with something. Just the same way, so coming back to the topic, just the same way as I was designing my game. Well, not designing, making my game. So it's like I kept sitting there and programming, and without any input from the side, without anything, I just got this tunnel vision to do something. I just kept doing, and this little sense of progress where I saw every day that, there's a new tree that I implemented. Oh, there's this new resource that I implemented in the game without actually properly doing any like real progress. So without like getting opinions from outside, I really got stuck. And there's nothing to compare it to, when you're all alone, sitting there staring at a computer screen. It's so hard to make judgments. But anyway, so
sometimes you get that doubt as well.
True. So how was your week, Oscar? Because I started on this question 20 minutes ago, and
yeah.
You can answer that for yourself. It was okay. Yeah, it was okay. Nothing interesting happened. So,
what's the progress with AI?
Not much at all.
But at least some
there. No.
So nothing, like not at all.
Nothing, man.
You might get some of those weeks sometimes.
Yeah, that's the thing with this podcast, though. It's let's update ourselves on everything like every fucking Friday, and then I'm sitting here like, I've done fuck all.
It's all good, man. Just keep going. I mean, sometimes you might hit a wall or something. Like, was you like struggling with something, or you just like felt?
There's been some other stuff going on, but yeah.
Like personal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's use that.
I mean, that's fair. No, that's fair though. That's fair.
Yeah, well, you can't control everything, But
yeah.
Sometimes these reboots are necessary, I guess.
Yeah, like you were talking about the tunnel vision, like.
Oh yeah,
I heard
stopped streaming.
You stopped streaming?
Almost. I put the schedule down to Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, starting 6 p.m. BST, and probably going on for like 2 to 4 hours. The way I started was, and I literally did this for like almost 30 days in a row when I started. Daily 12-hour streams. Almost 12 hour. So it's like you wake up, I don't know, 10 a.m., sit down, stream all the way till 10 p.m.,
Wow.
You woke up later, streamed till later. Sometimes less, it's not like every day 12 hours, but
yeah.
That's what I was known for back in the day. Like a month ago, there were just
That was
guys.
a root.
Yeah, that was like guys popping in saying, "Man, you're still on." Like, oh well, it's just that. I just feel like it's the tunnel vision that we talked about. It's like you can't, how Albert Einstein said, you can't really do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. Only crazy person would do that. So knowing this quote and everything, I just decided to switch it up, I guess.
Forgot, because I watched a video like 2 days ago, and it was the guy that made Stardew Valley.
Oh.
And it was talking about because he spent 4 years on that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was talking about his key to success, because he could have gave up easily. Like he actually started writing the engine himself. He didn't even use any third party software.
Mm-hmm.
And he spent 4 years developing the game, and he obviously did the marketing, the artwork, all the artwork himself. And he was a programmer, had a programmer's mind. Like all he knew was code. Yeah. But it showed that that growth mindset where he just, every time he came to a halt, to a place where he knew that he wasn't skilled at, he would take some time off and learn that, and then come back to the game.
That's a cool one. Yeah. Mind sharing it after, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'll try and find the video. And it talked about because everyone has their pillars of success.
Mm-hmm.
And his one was the community. So he had the community around him to keep him going. People developed an interest from him sharing sharing his game with the community. He knew that there was some interest, so that kept him going. And without that growth mindset and the community, I don't think he would have actually finished the game. And what you're doing is important, because you have that community, even though you feel like you're just streaming every day. Maybe you don't feel nothing's coming out of it. You're still getting some interest from the game, and you still build on that community, and that probably does push you, right?
Yeah, well, it should, I guess. But then time comes where you just realize that you're just a novelty, and then something appeared, and then people were interested, but then everything dies down, and sort of viewership drops from just one dude stopping by and stuff. Start realizing that nothing lasts forever,
yeah
especially in this sphere. You don't just have infinite growth. You just sort of, man, I don't know, I've been thinking about existential crap for the past week.
Bro.
Yeah, I've been sometimes getting that doubt as well. But I've heard, I don't know where I got this from, but it worked for someone. It's where they spent one day in the week just reflecting on, they would do no progress on whatever they was working on. They would just spend one day in the week organizing stuff and reflecting on what they did, and try to plan ahead for the coming week. I haven't tried it personally, but I might try it. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I don't know. Seems like a whole lot of time to plan. When you could be.
Yeah.
I assume he's not planning the whole day. He's just taking a day off, right?
Taking the time to just look back, and instead of just going zombie mode, fall on it,
Yeah. I mean, there are different approaches everybody has. What we like to do afterwards is kind of, in this case, you can't say rationalize, but it's we rationalize a lot of things. But in this case, you put a reason for, this works because things are working right now, and stuff like that. Everybody's got their own thing, really. It's a matter of, going and believing that something works for you.
Yeah, experimenting with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting thing to do though. Like, reflect on your past week to optimize the upcoming.
But you have to be careful not to start overthinking then and being like, it could be that you are productive, but then you start looking back and then you're like, and you don't feel like it for whatever reason. Yeah. And you're putting yourself down, even though you're actually making progress. I don't know. It's not black and white.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I'm sure you would probably spot that you were doing well, and don't, meditate on that for too long.
The most important thing is to be sure of what you're doing, and to be sure there is a purpose to what you're doing and that you're finding fulfillment in it. But yeah, I mean, don't listen to my advice right now, because I haven't done a lot for the past few weeks,
but then your input could be very valuable, and if it's okay with me saying it, that you are an overthinker.
I am, yes.
And I believe that your input in this conversation would be very valuable when it comes to what do you think counts as too much thinking and meditating on something instead of going out and implementing it.
Well, I guess when you start feeling that, I think you've got to notice it yourself, but when you start feeling that actually you're using it as procrastination, maybe. But when in the times when I've been most productive, I did the least thinking. So there is room for a lot of thinking if you want to just you want to question stuff. But when you want to get stuff done, you can just get stuff done, really. But you've got to have some sort of a plan as well. So that's probably the most productive thing that I've done, and I know it wasn't waste of my time, is when I went and spent pretty much the entire day planning for what courses I'm going to go through and take and study.
Yeah.
And then I haven't followed up on doing that, but I have to do that. But yeah.
Do you think you procrastinate on those plans? Maybe.
Well,
because sometimes
I'm very stubborn.
Yeah.
So, I'm spoiled as well.
Say that.
So I recently I told you guys I got contacted to work on a website.
Yeah.
And then that kind of seemed like it was going somewhere, and I think it still is. We're waiting to sign the contract, and then I kind of realized that it was a kind of impulsive. I kind of impulsively took the job on because I don't see my future as somebody programming websites or making websites. At the time, I don't know where I was with my mind, but it's I've got a lot of conflicts going up here right now. So I want to just focus this entire summer on investing in myself, as I said, I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago. I just want to do that. I've kind of I know where I'm going, but I've still got kind of some residue of past decisions not made with the values that I have, taking on the work to do the website, because it just kind of came up. I was like, I kind of get this feeling like, oh, I've got this opportunity, I really should take it, right? But then it's not a great opportunity either, because I've not done a lot of websites, so I don't even feel comfortable charging a lot. So I'm working for probably under minimum wage on the website. And it's just it's just not a good process, because we're probably going to end up making the website in WordPress, and I have a designer
right
to do the website, which is my friend, so he's getting paid for that as well, which I don't really mind the money, but at the same time, I could be working on some website that would, on my own without getting paid at all, which would look good on my portfolio if that's what I wanted. And this is just going to be, the only good thing about this is that it's for an actual client, which I don't know if anybody would give a shit. Sorry for the cuss there.
But it gives you would have got that experience though.
Well, it's an experience, but like more than half of it is dealing with the client.
Yeah.
So, and coming back to the point, I don't see myself working on websites. It's somewhere between being stubborn and somewhere between just being standing my ground, really, for things that I want to do for my career.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Like, you have that choice.
Because for a long time, I just kind of didn't allow myself to spend time working or studying the things that I really wanted to study, because I thought they were so far out of my reach. Like if I would have to spend like unimaginable amount of hours to get anywhere with them before, and then I wouldn't have the experience necessary to find work in programming and stuff and computing, or not computing, but well, that's changing now, and I just don't see myself working on, as I said 3 times now, websites. So we'll see if like this might be the last one, because like I don't know what to, because I already got somebody working on the logo for my client. So I assume she still wants to sign the contract. She's just waiting for the logo. So I'll probably have to just do this website, but
afterwards.
So there's just been a lot of conflict, and because I'm fucking spoiled. Like
I feel you, man. Like, in my opinion, this is still a good time to be figuring it out, and you can do a post-mortem afterwards and figure out everything that went right, everything that went wrong in this situation. When you're done with the project, you can just put it aside and then analyze it a bit, saying, yeah, this is really something that I don't want to be doing in my life. Like, at least you understand that you may not want to do websites, It's also a valuable experience, I would guess.
Yeah.
And then maybe, just maybe, something that you implement in the website will later in future allow you to make your own without needing to pay someone else.
Well, perhaps, but I wouldn't look at it like that.
Well, I guess, like, I just think that this is the way I see it.
Very optimistic way to look at it. It's I know you're looking for positives in it, but
yeah, I mean, if you approach it positively,
I don't need this experience to build myself a website at any point.
Maybe it can teach you the fundamentals,
basics.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, I've worked with WordPress a fair amount of time now.
So this is done with WordPress, or?
It'll probably be done with WordPress. Okay. It's an e-commerce website.
Right. Okay.
So that's that's the best. Well, for this amount of money, the best way.
Well, you never know. Like, you can teach you like some fundamentals about, and you can apply that to your future endeavors, maybe.
Like anything, man. The thing is, for example, I was thinking about, what would it take for me to start up like an online business, just like flip some stuff online or anything. You need a store, you need some sort of an e-store, which means if you go on Shopify, it's very easy, very good, and very nice. But maybe you have to pay for that service. And like, don't quote me on that. I don't know. I haven't researched it too far. But I'm sure that if they provide you the service of making your e-commerce store.
Yeah.
And have you considered Shopify, Oscar?
Yes, but as I've said, Shopify isn't very customizable.
Okay, so you need custom. Okay.
Because it is being designed first, and then I'm implementing it. And I've worked with WooCommerce for an e-commerce website already, so.
Okay. So yeah, so it means that, in the future, me, for example, if I want to make some sort of an e-commerce thing, it's either I'm going to spend a month researching how WooCommerce works and making my own website, or just going off with Shopify, which I would probably just go with Shopify if the price is right, because I will feel like, oh, maybe now I'm working at a company 9 to 5, and then I don't really have much time to to figure out my own stuff. So
I'm continuously getting that experience working and like maintaining my mom's website where, I do everything in my own time. I don't have to write up contracts. I don't have to spend hours and chatting to the client.
Right.
It's just like, can you do this for me? And it's, I will do it. And,
you feel like
I'll make it, the best way I can without, expending too much effort, like being reasonable, because I'm, if I'll get it done to get it done, and I'll try to make it look nice. With a client where I've got I've got somebody designing this website for them, and then it being implemented, that's more involved. It's a specific way it looks.
And you feel like that's a burden, what you're trying to do?
Well, not that, but clients are just take a lot of time to service.
But hey, you can learn from that.
Well, okay, yeah.
That's the positives out of it.
Sure, if we have.
You have clients, okay? That's very important too.
Yeah, I mean, I have no marketing for they just kind of it's people who I know.
Yeah, and this is how I've heard people start off. By doing maybe, some friend asks you to do a website, and then, by the word of mouth, and it just spread. And because I remember doing a website for, oh man, like it was so underpaid, but then, no, I don't want to do websites. Like the thing is, I quoted such a low price so I would get the deal. And then at the same time, when I realized that I actually now have to implement it, it's like, oh man, like,
oh shit.
Yeah, honestly. And I realized that, this is something I really wouldn't want to do. Because I got recommended by a friend of mine. Because she's like a graphics designer and interior designer and everything. And then she's like, okay, so this guy, he wants to, he has just like quit a real estate company and now is starting his own venture, and he needs a website. And like, could you do that? Like, oh well, I've never done this, but I guess. So I went with WordPress. I'd have to customize it, like change up the code and all that, and like make it, localize it, allow them, because they also want an ease of use. They want to be able to upload stuff themselves and create galleries and do all sorts of tags like prices, and it's like, nope. I really don't like websites. Don't like websites.
Yeah, what we've talked about before, which could be a thing, is where you work a job in programming all day, and when you come back home, you don't really feel like doing any more programming. It's kind of the same thing. Like when you do a job that requires any kind of mental effort, it can and it drains you mentally.
Just want to work out after.
to then but to then actually do put mental effort into something that something that you want to do yourself afterwards, it can be difficult versus can be harder than if you work a manual labor job and then you haven't really used your brain the whole day. Now is the time
to do some quick maths.
Yeah, and that's just hypothesis. Like that's not.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, I feel that as well.
That could be a matter of, there's obviously a lot of factors, but if you're really determined, to do something, you'll do it, whatever. It doesn't matter. But you can drive yourself, like you can burn yourself out as well. So.
Oh yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Like you can feel like, okay, I'm gonna work extra harder because this is something I really want to do, and then you can still burn yourself out, I guess. I don't know.
This thing's real, dude. I always thought that this thing doesn't exist and people just create it in their minds, but the burnout is real.
Mm.
And I don't know what happened. Like, I don't think it was just the burnout, but like I was going to bed with my heart racing. I haven't done a single exercise thing, anything that day and stuff. And you go to bed and you feel the heart sort of like, you know how you don't notice your breathing or you don't notice your heartbeat because just natural processes that happen. Then I just lay in bed and can't fall asleep for a few hours thinking like, what the hell is wrong? The heart feels kind of not right. And then once you actually go to sleep and you wake up, the eyes are sore and they're like red and mouth is dry and you just feel like maybe I'm like not hydrated enough, but I just constantly keep drinking water, so that doesn't make sense. And I don't know. And like then you sit down to do more work, you just realize like, oh shit, dude, I just can't. So what I did then is took a walk. Just did a little night walk up the hill. Just chilled around. The other day, I felt way more productive than like the past few days of just sitting and just the way Oscar said, just do some extra work because it's the project that I'm doing. Do some extra work. But the thing is, especially because you're working for yourself, you shouldn't burn yourself out. It's like, it's cool.
Take the time to
It's cool. Yeah. But the thing is, when you are your own boss, be a damn good boss. Don't your boss at work may be requiring a lot from you, but like when you're your own boss, dude, at least like be good for yourself. Be a strict boss. Like I know that me and Oscar have fell into this little gaming rabbit hole with this new game we've discovered. But the thing is, I mean,
well, when something like this happens, as I've said before, I usually take it to the extremes, to the point where I don't like the game anymore. I don't think it's going to happen with RimWorld, because there's so much probably more to explore. But hopefully, soon I'll be over it.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I literally wake up at 1 p.m., play all the way till 5 a.m., go to sleep, wake up. And I did this for 2 days. And then the third day, I spent like half of the day playing. And I played but the thing is, the feeling of guilt, I said, dude, if the festival wasn't moved, wasn't delayed a week, the festival would be on right now, and I'm sitting here playing games. And someone said like, oh yeah, you just have more time to procrastinate now. It makes sense. And yeah, true. But the thing is, I just don't. I don't know, dude.
Maybe also because I've been reading the David Goggins book. You guys heard of David Goggins?
Yep.
So I've been reading the book, and like he had to go through Hell Week, which is like 120 hours. They all had to stay up for, like they cannot sleep.
Is that SEALs?
Military training.
Navy SEALs. Yeah, I think it's I forgot what it's called. I forgot what the actual like program was called. But on the first month, the third week, it was Hell Week, and 120 hours no sleep. And if they actually and they were all like split up into teams, right? And he had to ask himself this question, like, why am I here? And he said, like, if you're not prepared to answer that question, like you should, well, like when you ask yourself that question, you should be prepared to answer it. So maybe like in those times, like maybe ask yourself like why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Very important.
For sure.
Back to the basics, pretty much. Why?
Yeah.
Why
I ask
are
myself
you
this all the time, and then I play RimWorld.
Wrong question then.
Why am I alive?
Oh, dude. Damn,
I'm kidding. I mean, I've only spent. When did you introduce me to the game?
Oh, okay. The beginning of this week, I think.
I've spent 25 hours on it.
Did you spend 25 hours on it?
Yes.
Oh, in a week?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, I can't.
I mean, not really a week, maybe less than a week.
Yeah.
Because we purchased the game like a few days ago, so.
I can't say like because I spent in League of Legends like I think 2,000 hours in that game. That took the life out of me.
Oh yeah, I mean even Counter-Strike Global Offensive, for example, I've played.
Yeah.
I've also played quite a few hours, and I mean maybe not as much as 2,000, but still, you know, it's I want to just check. Yeah, 1,100 hours. So like,
yeah,
you know, I don't know. I've
I like
actually
what you
played
brought up,
Squirrel
though.
Forest for 25 hours.
damn. Technically, you spent way longer than that.
Yeah,
Just technically.
just the Steam testing. Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
We can go back to what you brought up, Yacinto, from David Goggins, because that's interesting. Do you guys have any kind of things that you ask yourself, like, and that kind of thing, like, why am I doing this? When you kind of lose motivation, for you probably, like do you ever lose motivation when you for working out?
Oh,
do you have
yes.
that conversation with yourself?
Yes, every time. I've lost it completely now, like since the gym's been closed.
Right.
And I really want to get back up to like to how I was before the quarantine. But I just haven't had the like because David Goggins talks about mental toughness quite a lot, and I just haven't had that mental toughness to get back to where I was.
Yeah.
Because I have this excuse that there's no gym.
Right.
I could be doing body weight exercises right now, but I have this excuse that there's no gym.
Oh yeah.
So I've just been
fair. That's fair.
True.
You could get your motivation from Dimitri.
Yes, his Facebook post.
Oh, the man just keeps going.
He's really into body weight stuff.
It's a good thing though. Like, I could be doing Taekwondo right now.
Yeah, and I think like if you also work on your health and your body, it also helps you with your work. Like what Maris was saying about like taking that walk.
Yeah, exercise and just taking a walk. Yeah, is very refreshing.
Yeah, it's kind of like a meditation a little bit. Like it helps you,
especially when you're in one of those times when you take a walk, you're away from your home, away from your computer,
and then maybe you can take the time to ask yourself that question: why am I here?
Yeah,
why am I doing this?
It's good. Yeah, I popped my bicycle tire. I used to cycle quite a lot, but I need to. I've just not taken the time to fix it. I need to, and then maybe I should do that tonight, and maybe tomorrow go for a cycle.
Yeah, I should like go out for a walk sometime as well, because it's so easy just to be just cooped up in your room in front of your screen.
Oh yeah,
especially now.
Yeah.
Fucking.
And then you get depressed and.
Yeah, then you start questioning life
and then
and everything.
But if David Goggins can last that week,
Oh man, dude, that guy can last anything. Like you see Lex Fridman but embarking on the challenges of David Goggins. Yeah, the workouts. What is it? 40 miles in 48 hours or so, or whatever that guy thing was. Or no, 4 marathons in 48 hours, something like that.
Yeah,
like,
that's
some crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that guy's been through a lot of pain and stress.
Don't know.
And we have to do the same with our like mental burdens.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can't forget about like where we came from.
Mm-hmm.
Physical creatures.
True.
Yes. Like
Um,
we used to be hunter gatherers, right?
Oh
yeah.
yeah. So mentioning the topic, we're coming back to the basics again.
Mm-hmm.
We should, and I have said this in the past already, but establish a workout routine which is not a workout routine, okay? So have you ever seen any caveman lifting weights, like just laying there and pushing stuff or doing bicep curls or anything? That doesn't happen. It's not natural to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And what I've heard, some some people who who are into this field and medicine and also just the human physique and everything, researchers, you should probably do a little routine where every time you go to the bathroom or every time you go to the kitchen to do, like, I don't know, boil some water, make a tea.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, while the kettle is boiling, do squats, do push-ups, do something. Just do like these very short focused exercise. Yeah. So some other guys reported saying pull-up bars, and every time they pass through the door, they just do like a couple of pull-ups and wall. And it really doesn't take much time out of your day. Literally just 10 seconds every time you go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, it all adds up, and you get this flexible, because that's what our ancestors were doing. They're bending down, lifting stuff up, going up the tree. They're going, like hunt or something. All of this, like, manual work, and this is why they stayed healthy, because they kept moving. And maybe overusing it, going back to the basics again. Life is movement. Like, what is life? Well, not going all philosophic on it, but from the biology standpoint, life can be described by movement.
Yeah.
If the thing moves,
she's a foot. No, I'm just kidding.
What? Oh.
I'm sorry.
No. So if the thing moves, usually means that it's alive. Well, you can start arguing. You can start finding counter arguments, obviously, saying that, oh, maybe this rock moved because I kicked it. Well, it didn't move on itself.
No.
Maybe the tree moved. Maybe the plant moves. Well, maybe plants are alive. And
plants, yeah.
Yeah, so this is what...
They do move.
This is what I sort of learned, gathered, whatever. So if you want to stay alive, dude, you got to move.
You move, yeah.
And I'm so motivated. I've been standing here for like an hour now.
Been standing.
Hey.
Yeah, because yesterday I just realized, oh, I should probably raise the desk up, because it's the crank arm thing for a standing desk. So
yeah,
it's like I may as well just use it, right?
Yeah, I used to do in the library. I used to stand in the library, like when I had something to, like, I had a foot, and I was coming back to the desk. But the desk is really high, and the chairs are like really high. So I'd just stand and do whatever it was that I needed to do. So that was kind of my balance between standing and sitting. Just kind of happened.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes more comfortable to just stand, even.
I gotta try that out. I haven't tried it. I really want a standing desk. Also, like, coming back to the basics, like, we also didn't eat every day as well. Like, back at, like, our ancestors, like, they didn't guarantee a catch. They couldn't guarantee a catch in a day sometimes. So
right. So they wouldn't get 3 meals a day.
Yes, they could. They may not even get any meals in a day, and this is why we're getting all these, like, health problems.
Wow.
That's spurring up nowadays because we're not following our, like, basic roots, where I'm not saying don't eat, like,
Yeah.
but like obviously take some breaks as well. And I've also
Intermittent
noticed
fasting.
that it improved a little bit my focus as well, a little bit.
Yeah.
Like if I just got past that hunger stage, I would have just
Definitely.
I would have just powered through.
Man, I tried. I couldn't. It's
I
so
can vouch for
weird.
that.
Like I need to do stuff, and then I sit down, and then if I feel hungry, I try to not think about it. And we actually had an episode in this podcast, like 20 episodes back or so, but we talked about ketosis and diets and the keto diet and how it's beneficial. But ever since, I just couldn't really get into that. Like, I don't know, dude. It's so weird, but
it takes a different kind of motivation.
Yeah, like I don't know where my mind is at, and they say, you have an infinite willpower, so you should be able to just tell yourself, yo, don't think about it, it's gonna pass, just power through. I don't know, man, it's so hard for me. Obviously, like
it's the way I look at like intermittent fasting and stuff, rather than just a tool for focus. But I wouldn't use it as a thing where you might think, okay, I'm going to start intermittent fasting and then everything's going to be okay. But it is like when you are like a very busy person, intermittent fasting can, like when you want to be very efficient, intermittent fasting is good. Just because you've got that extra focus throughout the day.
Yeah.
It gives you that extra focus throughout the day. It doesn't give you extra motivation necessarily, but it gives you that extra focus, which it can be useful if you want to say, be very productive for the first half of the day, so the other half of the day you can take off for yourself or something like that. Because I used to, go on.
Oh, sorry, you can go on.
I used to only eat like at 7 or 8 at night, like a huge meal.
Yeah.
The first semester of third year. And that like and then I just obviously just feel slow and everything, but it doesn't matter because I'm just like watching Netflix and going to bed. Then the first half of the day I'm just in the library and I'm on point. I'm on focused but when I feel like when you eat, it kind of slows you down. It kind of feels lazy.
There's a term for that. There's the afternoon slump where you have the little food.
So you can actually avoid that.
Huh. Some people embrace it.
I've experienced that as well.
Some people embrace it. The Spanish have the siesta.
The what? What was that?
Siesta. Yeah, people work till like 12 p.m. from the morning and then go home for like 3 hours or so and then come back to work.
Yeah,
it was quite a weird thing to experience there, but like, that's what they do. Well, it's not only because of that, obviously, it's just that it's also hot outside and everything. So they have their siesta when it's like, well, we're just going home, chilling a few hours, and then coming back like from 4 to 7, just having like a pretty much a break, like a long lunch break. So
wow,
you could also plan it this way, because it depends on what the motivation of yours is, but
I mean, the other thing that it helped with was planning meals, because when you're going to have your meal at this time of the day, you're not sitting in like say the library where it would take time to go and get food and stuff. You're not sitting there like thinking about food, because I mean, first of all, after you've done intermittent fasting for a while, you don't actually feel hungry for that part of the day. So some people think that you're just like starving yourself. You don't actually. After some time, your body gets used to it. And I don't know if that's I don't know if that's psychological, like, because there's obviously more studies probably need to be done on this. It's quite a it's quite a new trend.
Mostly psychological. So from the conversation with Patch back in like the first episodes about ketosis thing, he says it's mostly that your body expects that you're gonna feed him.
Yeah, I listened to that expo. Yeah, it was good.
So it's sort of I'm sure that if I pushed through the first day, I could maybe get over the second and the third.
Might be a little bit more than one day.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure, because
I mean, another way people do it is like not go extreme straight away, like to say miss out breakfast.
Okay.
Not have breakfast at first, and then you get used to that for a while, and then you extend it.
Then you move on, yeah.
And make sure you're still eating enough.
You would go skip breakfast, and people would do 12 to 8. Like they can do that as the basics. Some people do like 20 hours not eating through the day and then 4 hours eating window.
Yeah.
I think it's called like the warrior diet.
Mm.
I'm trying alternate day, so I don't eat for a day and then I eat the next day.
Oh wow! Right now?
Yeah, I'm doing. I've done 2 days so far.
Wow!
I've not eaten, like alternate days.
It's mad. It's
yeah.
crazy. How is it?
Yeah.
You know what? The day that I'm not eating, as long as I get past that, like whenever I usually eat, I would usually get hungry. It's caused by a hormone called ghrelin. As long as I can say that I can get past that ghrelin, like obstacle, right? I tell myself that, then I don't feel hungry after that. I just keep powering through until the next hunger stage, and I just have to just get past like at least like 3 times that I get hungry during the day.
Yeah.
And then I'm through the day, and then I sleep through the night, and then I wake up the next morning, still no food, and then I have my breakfast.
Yeah. The only thing that I worry about is that when I do intermittent fasting, what actually happens is your body starts to ignore the pain of being hungry. That's what I worry about. Because obviously the science says that your body just gets used to it, and it's healthy and everything. That's what like everybody is saying. But obviously it's not that, that research driven area.
Have you had those days when you're so busy and you do something so exciting that you forget to eat?
Yeah. Yeah.
You come back home and then when you remember that you didn't eat anything, you start shivering, sort of like lacking energy.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this, well, you're going to be fine. You can not eat for weeks. It's just that your body is going to start going into a different state. And again, as mentioned, the ketosis stage, where it just starts burning your own fat. And you're like energy-wise, you're going to be fine. Though, yes, I'm not sure about, again, none of us are really medical experts, are we?
No.
But but the thing is, so me not being an expert and knowing the definite answer, I'm still a bit skeptical, just like you, Oscar.
Yeah.
Thinking about, wait, is it really like not healthy, or like is it really healthy, or is it sort of maybe it does have some consequences because it's something that we're not used to. So there may also be this thing where everyone's body is adjusted to different things, and maybe if we're not used to this and then we start doing this and powering through this, then maybe we're actually hurting ourselves because
Yeah.
So yeah.
See what I say, if you're going to commit to intermittent fasting, join some long-term study that is going to follow you across your life, so you can contribute to science when you finally die. So they're like, what effect did intermittent fasting have on this person?
And then people are like, oh, actually, yeah, intermittent fasting is known to be damaging, and you're just, the proof of that, I guess.
Well, like what Arthur said, like my focus has improved.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have to think about food. Like I'm just.
Wow, so maybe it's
a lot more done.
Maybe it's just the beginning stages then, because I've both felt the feeling of not needing to eat anything because I'm focused, I'm doing stuff, I'm all over the place, and then the only thing that reminds me that I need to eat is my mom, almost like calling me up, say, yo, did you eat or whatever? Like, it's when you're out and doing stuff out and about, like cameras and filmings or anything that I used to do back in high school. But the thing is, when you start thinking about it at the end, you start feeling like you don't have energy, Because if ketosis was so fast that it just switched in and then, I have energy because I'm burning my own fat, that would be...
Maybe you just need like the training you're training your body like to use fat for fuel.
Oh yeah, you probably have to train it for...
Yeah.
I mean, being no medical experts, but yeah.
Yeah.
Damn,
I mean, from experience,
interesting.
I can say that after I've done for a good while, like at the start and then a little bit after the start, it still is not great. But after you do intermittent fasting for a while, even to the extreme of that 4 hour window of eating, like you don't feel, you forget about eating during the day. You don't feel any hunger during the day until you
Yeah.
get back home. Like honestly,
Your body sort of adjusts, I heard. But the thing is, you should also focus on not binging food so much during those 4 hours that you would overcompensate for what you didn't eat. It's like there's another pitfall because you're overloading your stomach by like huge, masses
and
of
obviously
food.
still, keep eating healthy still. Can actually make it easier to eat healthy because you've got this only one meal that you have to plan. You're not eating, say, if you're at university on campus. If you don't have packed lunch, it can be hard to find healthy food.
Oh yeah.
So it helps with that as well. Yeah.
I think I'm interested in trying that. Maybe trying some easier version of it. Switching back down to like a couple of meals a day or like one meal a day or whatever.
Yeah, like skip breakfast and then have 2 meals. That should be.
But the thing is, there's another scientific studies showing that you should eat 8 times a day.
8?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah, it's almost like you should eat every few hours. However, your meals should be very small.
You're just spiking your insulin 8 times a day. That's not
you're
good.
gonna waste so much time anyway.
Yeah.
Eating so much.
Well,
it's just gonna give you another reason to procrastinate.
The thing is, that thing called so much is not really so much. It's like you should split everything into like a little portion of nuts, an apple, a banana, this and that, and sort of, very small portions. It's not like snacking, but your food should still be healthy, like a little salad bowl, but you should split it. And yeah, the thing is, I don't know why. I don't know what the science is behind it, and the way you reacted to it, you've seen about the insulin. I mean, maybe it makes sense. It's like sounds right, but we need to do more research. Yeah,
I wouldn't do that because you're spiking your insulin 8 times a day. That's to me. That's how I see it.
But you're not really spiking it anymore if you're constantly just dealing with, like, your body adjusts to it, doesn't it?
I mean,
because there's no more spikes. There's no more like one huge meal a day. You're literally adjusting your body so that you wouldn't need to do a spike and then a drop, spike, a drop. You would probably transition in a phase where you're just constantly sort of fine, like it produces less of it. Or
I would go and read the actual papers on that.
Yeah, I would need to do some more reading into it. But
I'm not saying I will, but I think you should if you're going to think about doing that 8 meals a day. But
I wouldn't do it.
But the thing is, these are both two extremes. This is eating 8 times a day, 8 very small meals a day, or the other one, not eating at all for like
just
a day.
Looking at it practically, though, like people who are really busy don't have the time to eat 8 times a day, even if it's small meals.
Yes,
I guess if you have a lunchbox or something.
And if we're looking back into our ancestors, did we eat 8 times a day? No, most of it was spent like...
I don't know. Like you're passing by a berry bush, you get some berries.
Perhaps.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like the thing is, I'm not an expert, but it's a very cool thing to be, thinking about, I guess. And yeah, I'll try. Okay, so I guess next week will be the update on how it's going for me, food-wise. But I feel like the weekend will be spent, obviously doing the game, because I literally have 3 days. But at the same time,
I wouldn't jump into it now.
Yeah,
I wouldn't jump into it before you start, before the festival.
Yeah, and then some research still on.
Just because that's the transition phase, and that can be worse than what you get afterwards.
Oh yeah, I feel like I've tried something a few days ago, and I just sat there, didn't eat, and say, okay, I'm gonna power through this, and I'm gonna be fine. And then I sat until my mind just blanked out. I'm looking at code, and I'm realizing that I can't write code. I don't know what's happening. I was like, I told myself, I'm going to get over this food thing. But then, I needed to write code so bad that specific time because, time pressure and everything. Yeah, you're right, Oscar. It's just like you can't allow yourself right now. I can't allow myself this at this specific time.
And also look at nutrition, because it is so important that you eat the right things. And I can tell you right now what you need to eat, but there's foods that you need to eat on this kind of diet.
Mm-hmm.
Just like get your macronutrients.
Yeah, to get all the macros in check and.
Yeah, and it depends because me, I also need to look at my diet, but I still got fat to burn, so I'm good, but for you guys, you probably need to look into it more.
Check in on what I mean, I've tried tracking calories, I've tried tracking macros, I've tried I've even, used those apps where every time you eat a bowl of cereal, you put all the ingredients together. I've
done that for a year. I've done that for a straight year.
Oh, how was it?
You know what? I got possessive.
Possessive?
Yeah, I was just thinking about any food that I picked up. I was like, oh, how much calories is this? I was doing all the quantum maths in my brain.
Wow.
And then trying to and then every time getting the bar scanner on my phone and then scanning every packaging, I had to eat food with packaging. So I know the calories in that item.
Wow. See, I eat the same shit every day, so it wouldn't be a problem.
Oh, wow. I've gotten to that stage though. Yeah.
I mean, I remember making cereal, so taking Greek yogurt and then trying to understand how much of it I took and put in the bowl. So then sort of saying, okay, this is 100 grams or so. Screw it. And then cutting up an apple, putting an apple in, cutting up a banana, putting a banana in.
And weighing all of it.
And then just sort of trying to predict and then putting some nuts inside, mixing it all up, and then maybe even adding some granola cereal. So I would just look at this all and be like, man, I don't have time for this.
No, you don't.
No, I just realized, screw that.
I had to weigh everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it help you? Do you think that it was beneficial?
It helped me a lot. I lost a lot of weight.
Okay.
Oh, that's not good. Means your meal is not full enough. So if you're not maintaining your weight.
Good. It's not good because I was overweight.
No, I'm joking. It's if your goal is to track your calories to lose weight, yeah. But yeah.
If that's your goal, yeah.
Even
if you're trying to put on weight as well.
Yeah, I mean, you just over adjust for the calories. So I've even tracked water. I remember tracking how much water intake I and every time I wanted to drink, even a little sip, if I wanted it to make a seamless experience between me and the app, the way I set it up, I would need to drink half a liter every time. So I was like, okay, it's time for me to drink water. It's either half a liter in one go or nothing. So I would just, drink the whole half a liter, just click the button saying, okay, that was half a liter. or 250, a little bottle, but would always have to down the whole bottle because it's easier to calculate.
So, are you still doing that now?
No, I did that in high school, man. I realized okay, as long as I just keep drinking water, I'm fine. Your body knows best.
Yes.
Your body should be the answer. You don't rely on.
Yep.
Everyone saw the movie Rocky 4 or Rocky whatever, where he had the fight with the Russian guy, and then and Rocky was training in a barn out in the winter cold, just doing everything manually, lifting heavy stuff, whatever you can find in a farm, whatever. And the other guy was all hooked up to monitors, always getting the nutrient supply, supplements, whatever. It's the nature actually wins. And sorry to spoil Rocky for you, but everyone knows that Rocky actually.
I didn't watch the fucking movie. Come on.
Really? You haven't watched Rocky?
I've
seen highlights
years ago, snippets of it.
Dude, it's a classic.
It was just maybe like on TV on something. That's how we watch TV in Poland. Something was just on TV. Start watching it halfway through.
Dude, that movie's like 50 years old. What the hell?
Exactly.
No, 40.
It's a boomer movie, man.
Anyway, yeah.
None of that boomer mental.
Cool.
I've not seen a lot of movies.
Yeah, same here. You feel like you're wasting time when you're watching movies, but I don't know. If like I really want to enjoy myself and sit down, watch movies, listen to podcasts, maybe listen to some audiobooks, maybe even do some courses online or whatever. But like I realize that there's not really a perfect time for that. You don't really have this unless you push everything aside, and maybe that's what happened with the gaming, you know. It's just like you sit down.
Well, think about how much time you spend in a day on YouTube and on Facebook and stuff like that. Where you can cut all that out. You say, I'll cut all that out, and then I'll have time to watch a movie, which is actually a good production, except for unlike all that cheap shit on YouTube. And it actually has a message and shit and everything.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, also I guess, my substitution for movies is usually YouTube. And yeah, I mean, who cares why the baseball stadium is of a certain shape? Like I watched this thing today. I mean, I sped through it like twice the speed, but I watched it. I watched a scientific thing on turbulent flow from Veritasium, watch some other stuff, some GDC talks about game development. So like it's a balance of crap that entertains your mind, but at the same time something that teaches you, but it's very hard to find that.
I actually went through my YouTube and you can go and say, don't recommend me this channel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I kind of went from my YouTube, like from my like recommended feed, and I was like, I just recently started watching all this like shit that is just such a time waster. It doesn't like old videos for no reason. That's just in a weird place. Like I used to watch, these stupid things like KSI and old gaming and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh, let's catch up with them. Let's see what they're doing nowadays. And like my recommended feed just kept giving me that shit.
Yeah, I had this thing with Family Guy or so. Once you get the rabbit hole of like these 2-minute, 4-minute long Family Guy episode cuts.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the YouTube just like exploded on me with these things, and I
just cleaned my.
I said, okay, that's
recommend me.
Yeah, you click that button and it just.
But then there's for something like that you just said. What was the show? Family Guy? Did you say Family Guy? Like for that, like lots of people are fucking posting shit from that, like lots of channels. So I mean, you can
but
download.
you don't say don't recommend me this channel. You say not interested, and then the algorithm.
Yeah, I don't know how much that works though.
It did. It just cleaned out all of the Family Guy and Simpsons and everything.
Did it?
It was good.
Oh, I don't trust YouTube.
But see, when I say don't recommend channel, they're never going to recommend me the channel again. So, like over time,
you end up going back.
Yeah,
and it will start recommending you.
Perhaps. But you get those like extensions which will do that for you. Be like put in the keywords that you don't want, but then you're actually like it feels like you're restricting yourself when you do that, rather than click in. Oh, don't recommend me this. Don't recommend me that.
I don't know. You may as well just put this extension on which blocks YouTube for you for like a certain part of the day. You hop on YouTube and the extension says, "Oh, sorry, you got to get back to work."
The point for me was like getting content that didn't make me feel dumb afterwards. Like I watched it and then afterwards I was like
you go watch Joe Rogan then. Joe Rogan will make you feel a lot more better.
Joe Rogan is one of the so I've left PewDiePie on there. I've let Joe Rogan I've left some entertainment channels like PewDiePie is probably gonna make me feel dumb as well, but of its content, but I've watched him for so long. It's kind of grown on me, so I still kind of watch that. from time to time, so I've left that there because I couldn't just fucking remove
can't ditch
everything.
PewDiePie.
I couldn't just remove everything that I enjoy, but I removed the shit that I don't enjoy, but I keep watching anyway. That's like literally an addiction. That's what an addiction is like.
Oh yeah.
You do something you don't even enjoy anymore. So I removed all of that, and it's I don't want YouTube recommending me any of that anymore.
Man, I realized that I'm addicted to Facebook, even though I'm not scrolling Facebook. I just have it in my bookmarks tab. Like the bookmarks bar, and anytime I open the browser, I'm like, okay, I click on the icon. I click on Facebook. I look at the first post. I look if there's any notification. I'll turn it off. And literally, it's like a 5-second exchange, but I do it so often. Just realize like, okay, that is almost as bad as a person sitting there and just scrolling.
Yeah,
it's like
I've developed that with Twitter. I've gotten addicted to Twitter, like. And I've realized it's actually like what everyone's been saying about Twitter. Like I've realized why they've been saying it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so toxic.
Oh,
well,
and I've even like I was almost gonna argue with someone, but I just had to no.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not.
Yeah.
Good. Well, social media just it corrupts society. Honestly, we will pay the price for this, and. Addiction to social media and addiction to it's not good for society. It's no good. It isn't. There's no almost no good comes out of it.
And I've heard
especially
yeah. I've heard something today like I forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to say. No.
Well, I can step in and say that we've been chatting for 3 times our limit, but any closing remarks?
Yeah. I remember. Oh. And then we'll close. And then I was going to say something, then we'll close.
If I remember, yeah.
So like how food is, like how processed food is unhealthy and unnatural. That's the same thing with talking to a person through social media. It's unnatural and unhealthy, and it's unhealthy for your mental. Just the same way that it's unhealthy to eat processed food for your body.
Yeah.
Wow, that's true though. Like even with your friends, texting, chatting, especially that thing, it's very. So
unnatural.
Yes, that's and also text is the easiest way to misinterpret someone's thoughts.
Yeah.
Someone wrote something to you, and dude, I've felt this. Some people which I don't really vibe with, it's like it doesn't matter how you say it, doesn't matter how dumb you make it, doesn't matter how long, how like you put a paragraph down explaining every single word you say. They're still gonna misunderstand it and frame you in such a way like, oh wait, what? She really like? How do you think? Like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
Oh my god, man! Like, just some other people. All I need is one word, and they instantly get it, and they start laughing. And they like sometimes if you try and put some sarcasm in, dude, like that's gonna. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, a conversation, a chat like this is a bit better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like, when we talked about like, if you never ate healthy foods, you don't know what it feels like to feel good.
True.
That I feel like maybe we could say that for social media as well. Like if you're not used to good quality conversations with people with a purpose, then you just kind of you're okay with that, I guess. Maybe
it's like it's gonna be very offensive. But if you're an otaku or whatever that like shinobi or whatever is, it's like
Naruto.
It's probably not really. Oh no, otaku is probably not the right word. It's not like well, it is used as a derogatory term somewhat, like but it's usually okay. So the if we define this word, it's like in Japan usually a young person who is obsessed with computers or particular aspects of popular culture to the detriment of their social skills. And it's usually with anime and manga and stuff, and about guys who don't date, guys who don't have any interest in girls. They have their waifu pillows and they're happy.
Incels.
What?
Basically, incels.
I don't know about this word, but yeah. Okay, invulnerability celibates, a member of online subculture who define themselves as unable to find a romantic. Okay, I guess, yeah. So like, but not necessarily, because they may not even be looking for a romantic partner. They may be actually just happy with their online waifu.
Yeah.
And yeah, social issues, man.
I mean, if society allows them to do that, then it's,
Why not?
Why not?
We need every kind of person. Like, we need all kinds of people.
We have all kinds of people. Whether we need all kinds of people, I don't know, but we do have all kinds of people.
We need them. We have them. It's good, because otherwise everyone conforms to the same things and becomes,
Sure.
You don't need no education. And then, dude, you can just imagine that, like, conveyor walking. Ah, man. So, yeah. We're all individual. We're all unique. And I think we should embrace that. And maybe even if people have their, bad, don't know. But the thing is, it's very subjective to call someone's interest or someone's the way they act, the way they speak, or the way they present themselves. You can't just call it, oh, this is the bad way of doing it. It's like, oh, you should probably, get out and meet someone or anything. Right?
Well, I mean, you could. It's
a more natural way.
If we don't reproduce, we're going to go extinct.
Well, there's been a demographic boom. We have quite a lot of people on this earth, and maybe we need to regulate the population. Maybe this is the way nature is regulating it. I mean, if we're still talking about it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, we all regulate each other. We all regulate ourselves, and it's all just happening.
I mean, bringing it back to the basics, right?
Yes.
This is also what we used to do. Like, this is what we used to do. We didn't have social media. We didn't have.
Oh yeah, we just go out and reproduce.
Yeah, we just go and meet them face to face.
Yeah, and then we wouldn't even speak because there were no language back then. We just go straight into reproducing.
Booga booga.
No, that wasn't the language.
That's what we should all start doing. If we're going back to the basics.
Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I hope people understand that. Because again, there are so many people who misunderstand stuff, especially on the internet, and can take stuff out of context and misunderstand. You all understand we're sarcastically joking about stuff like this would be considered rape in today's society, blah blah. And this should be condemned, and this is wrong. And I hope people are woke enough to understand this. Because if not, then
see, woke's been used as a bad term as well, as a negative term.
Oh well, too bad.
I thought for a long time woke is like good, and apparently woke is used for like snowflakes now. So
well, some people do say he's like, oh, he's woke because he has some sort of an insight which other people don't. However, his insight may be something very like unicorns and rainbows and sort of. There are some people who go and preach. Oh my god, I bumped the mic. There are some who preach something that is so out of reality, like it doesn't, like, and they say, oh, he's woke, but the other definition of this, I guess, the one which I would want to believe is the actual definition, is a person who, okay, let's Google. Let's try and then put this in the hands of Google and see what Google thinks that it is, or maybe other dictionaries.
Well,
woke is alert to injustice in society, especially racism.
Huh.
Oh, it's a political term of African American origin. Whoa, dude, what?
It is? Well, I mean, it's been used. It's been appropriated.
Yeah. It's been used this way. And they say, like, stay woke. It's derived from the African American vernacular English expression, stay woke.
To be honest, the way I've used it for the longest time is when you have an idea that it's just like kind of, but you say it as a joke, or when you speak about somebody who thinks outside the box.
Yeah, not seeing what can be, like what it could be.
Yeah,
that's what I thought it would be, like, you know, like open your eyes, like wake up.
Right. Yeah. But there you see.
I guess we gotta stay based then.
Based. That's based. I don't know where that word came from. All of a sudden, Dimitri just started saying it.
Yeah, this thing popped up. Thinking, I mean, looking at the Urban Dictionary and how it's sort of being described is it's used in context where the action or opinion ignores popular trends,
right?
Or requires special effort. So, like a conversation between two hypothetical parties. I threw away my TV. I only read books now. The other one says, that's based. Another conversation being, I broke all the lamps in my apartment. No more bowing down to big electricity. Based. Yeah, well, like, you know. I don't know. The thing is, I don't know what the correct term would be for someone. Well, stay open. I mean, we could put a lot of words and create our own term somehow. You need
woke
to be
and
yeah, like
together.
Yeah, sort of. But the thing is, in that term which we could create, I personally want to mash things like being aware of issues, being critical minded, being open minded, obviously, not staying objective, but also having like training your intuition. Because otherwise, you know, if you get all emotional, usually your thoughts become more subjective and close off, at least from the observations that I've seen. It's like when someone's having an argument, if someone attacks someone personally, they can just close off there and they don't hear anything. It's just like, no, my opinion is this and that's it. I'm not changing it. Even if the opinion is not usually in the right, for example. So it's just because people get all emotional and think they don't even understand that, you know, objectively this is wrong. They just think because I feel that like crying about this because it hit close to home, or it involves my, I don't know, anything that's a very sensitive topic. So yeah, I want a word that encompasses all of these things and also maybe adds insecurity in there too. Try to like rule out become less insecure, more educated. Try to educate yourself, you know.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So it's like maybe an intellectual is a word for that. Because what does an intellectual mean? Well, maybe if it's, you know, again, the basics, maybe it describes someone with a higher IQ than someone else because it's a standardized tests, and maybe intellectual means, but I don't know. But yeah, wisdom, wise.
Yes.
I guess.
Wisdom is, you know, you generally gain wisdom with age. I think there's more people with wisdom than, well, I don't know. I was gonna say there's more people who are wise than people who are intelligent. I don't know.
Well,
we have institutions to make people intelligent, so probably that.
But institutions only give you knowledge. And
that's intelligence. That's what we.
Knowledge is just
we can teach
a collection
as we measure it. With IQ, if we're speaking of IQ, that can be taught and trained. With wisdom, you gain it over time.
True thing.
Through books and
not necessarily
speaking with people.
Through life experience also.
Well,
but
yes,
the thing is,
yeah, that too. Okay.
Knowledge
yeah,
is a collection of information, and wisdom is knowing how to use that knowledge or that information. Just a bit of a higher level of not only, well, it's also a very simplified quote that I just said, but you have that knowledge and it's easy to read up on books or something. But if you don't know how to implement it, and if you can't recall things when the time comes, situations arise and, well, it's not about recalling the like the table of multiplication or something.
Yeah.
It's about being in a situation and being able to evaluate it very quickly and see what's happening and propose a best solution. And this is where wisdom from the ancestors and philosophies from the East come in, where I feel like that is a very huge pool of wisdom and knowledge and everything, which we should learn more from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can learn loads of life lessons too. Everything.
Yeah, and I'd say experiences, as you said, absorbing as much information from books as you can. There isn't such a thing as there is very little of innate, intelligence or wisdom, or I say intelligence, but you absorb as much information as you can, and obviously there's the right sources and the wrong sources. You can just be reading fiction, and you may be very creative, but for like real world applications, nonfiction, probably biographies and stuff like that. And speaking with people, having conversations, listening, and experiences most of all. I think with experiences, it's so important. Like as you grow older, as you have more experiences, so we can really, I have a hypothesis that we can only really, as we become older and we have more experiences, we can kind of understand or see other people's point of view better because we've had more. There's a higher chance that we've had similar experiences.
True.
That we can actually make a comparison to.
It feels like some people become more compassionate, especially when I would think about my grandpa or my grandma. They feel so wise. It's like, I don't know, man. Like whenever anything happened when I was a kid, they would just almost always know the best answer to the situation. They always feel like so knowledgeable plus like wise. It's like, oh, don't engage in a conflict with this boy, or like this is like, forgive him, or like this wasn't a big deal. Or then coming from all of these simple situations to all like more complex. And and I remember like even having discussions with my grandma about like, I want to go and study abroad, and she's like, maybe you shouldn't, maybe you should reconsider this. And obviously, but the thing is, it was so like eye-opening to me how she was open-minded about that. And despite she kept pushing me to like, oh, maybe rethink that, but after like sometimes she's like, well, yeah, I mean, why I'm doing this. I want you to be here, I want you to like visit us and stuff, and like, but I want what's best for you. And sort of, she doesn't mind. But the thing is, you just see the wisdom of a person who has lived like so many years. And I mean, dude, I want to be like an old ass man I don't really want to be a man now, but when I'll be one, I want to be like a damn witty wizard. Sucker. No, I mean, you don't just gonna turn a wizard, but like
sage.
You want to be that young in the spirit, having a long ass beard and being
a wizard.
Yeah, a sage.
Pretty much a wizard, a prophet. But the thing is, and be like, a witty person, like someone who would, the way like Zen works, because when you listen to some koans or some stories about Zen monks visiting Zen masters, and it just, these stories always capture me so bad. Like, wow. They feel so spontaneous, but then they always know how to answer. No, not this guy. Nice picture there. I mean, they almost always know how to answer it so quickly, like a good comedian. So quickly in such a way where you're just like, wow, what?
And like so simple as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's again, I tried introducing Zen to Oscar a few episodes back, but I did a very bad job, It's it's like a very quick and messy introduction, but it's so hard to introduce a philosophy I don't know much about.
There's a recent Joe Rogan podcast, I think like 2 months ago I listened to, and it was like he knew a lot about Buddhism, and it really and like all the Zen, like meditation, and it really like opened my eyes. I really want to look into it more as well. Like after listening to that.
Oh, so there's a second thing you're gonna link me.
Yeah, I'm gonna link you that as well.
Oh, look at that! Joe Rogan has just done a podcast with Bill Burr, and it was uploaded 2 hours ago. Bill Burr's stand-up things have been popping up on YouTube for me personally the past 2 days, and now boom, a podcast. These guys never stop.
Is he actually good? Like, have you...
That guy as a comedian?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's like... I don't remember what was like the funniest situation. Oh, he was making fun of male feminists. He was making fun of political correctness culture. And it's like... it's interesting to see it from a perspective of a comedian. Yeah. So, he doesn't mind talking about difficult issues, I gotta say. So
I like that about comedians. They're open.
As a comedian.
Yeah. Based and woke. Here we go. People. Based and woke. Yeah, we gotta come up with a term for next week about this thing, man.
I'm gonna try and do some word ninja.
Ooh.
Huh? I want to try and mix.
Put a matrix of words.
I want to mix based, woke, and intellectual into one word.
And wise.
And wise, yes.
Boink.
Boink. You just came up with that. Boink. There we go. Boink.
It's not even.
I don't know, dude. Nah, I gotta be skeptical about this thing. It sounds sounds weird, man.
Let's put some more wisdom into it.
Yeah, let's put some more thought into it so it wouldn't. I mean, I accept your spontaneous solution, but I think we need something that people wouldn't make fun of.
Yeah, Boink just sounds like someone from Scooby-Doo. Like Zoinks. Like, that's what it reminds me of, Zoinks. Or Jeepers.
Man. Anyway, we're actually approaching 2 hours mark, and I feel like we should actually finish because I want to do my game, and I'm sure Oscar really wants to learn his AI.
Rim World. What?
Yes. You want to build the bot.
Yeah, well, dude, I kept sending you stuff.
Working on a bot, yeah. What happened to my whiteboard? Well, okay, Marius. It's not just going to take you sending me stuff for me to get motivated again. That's cool.
Well, I don't know what I could do. Like, I can't really.
But it's okay. You don't have to do anything for me. I can help you, with your creative stuff. If you want me to, you can, call me up. But it's fine, I
mean, I did some RimWorld myself, sort of. Yeah, I've played it some. Means like I ain't a saint. Like I can only observe and propose a better way, but the thing is, if you
it's
if
one
your
of those
mind
times,
thinks that
I
it
have
needs
to get out of here myself.
your mind needs a reboot, and maybe that's a good way.
Yeah, that's one of those times, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah. Maybe more mental clarity will come after you rest your mind by playing this game. It's like some people take drugs, some people use alcohol, some people, chase women, some people play games. It's
Look, man, you know what? I wouldn't be playing this game. It's okay. You don't need to provide me a solution now.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So everyone has their
to each
demon,
their own. Yeah. As long as you know how to control it, doesn't take over your life. As long as there's no unfed children waiting for it, because
that's why I don't plan to have children anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's good because the thing is, some people sadly,
make your own kids using AI.
Oh.
I mean, I will have a robot that will be my kid.
Hey.
But it won't be my kid. It'll be my companion.
Are you gonna name him Billy?
No, I'm not gonna name him Billy. But anyway, yeah, I've got on Amazon. I've got a wish list of books on raising children and stuff. Because I'm super if I'm going to have kids, I'm super worried about that, doing it right.
Oh, dude, you're gonna name him Billy, I'm sure.
So, yeah, and until I'm in the right place, I'm not man enough of a man right now to have children.
Dude, I've been thinking about this issue before too, about raising children and how I would want my children to be raised properly, because it's so hard to just know what the right way it is. So I was like, oh, maybe. But I also learned some stuff today, which allows me to not worry about it, I guess, right now. And even with your books, which you have in your wish list, I don't know what my advice would be on this, but so the thing I've learned was
I know where this is going. You can't do anything right. You can't do it right.
No, you can. However, you have to fight your fight when the fight is on. If you spend your mental energy right now planning up for things like that, tomorrow may never come too. That's another, sad thing. But
I mean, you're saying right now that it's not good for me to educate myself on
parenting,
the psychology of children.
No, I'm saying you shouldn't educate yourself on parenting right now.
I'm looking ahead. Yeah. I've not started reading any of these books, but I've started, in those times when you are bored and you start Googling, and when those thoughts come up, it's because I know right now I'm not, I couldn't have children right now.
Yeah. I mean, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, and it's good to be prepared, I guess, but at the same time, don't over prepare where you fall back into overthinking everything and sort of
worry too much about it.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's hard to do when it's not, about yourself. But yeah, if it's for the benefit of somebody else, you're only going to spend so much time doing it. I think, even when it is your children.
Yeah.
So we're wrapping up. And just to be clear, I don't think reading all these books is going to give me the answer on how to raise children. But it's as we've talked about reading books before, it's just reading as much, getting in as much as for information as possible, and that's not even reflecting. Reflecting is another process, and that's where overthinking can happen, really. But yeah, reading, making sure you have the information in the first place. Yeah,
being ready for when you need to be ready. it's like you set like I know what you mean. This is like a one level away from being ready right now. You're preparing yourself by finding the resources to when you'll have to be ready, It's like you don't have to go out and buy those books and read them now so you would be ready for, a child, but you setting yourself up for having an easier time when you need to find books, I guess. But yeah, I mean, positives, negatives everywhere, but I haven't had children. I don't have an advice, I can't give any advice for that, obviously.
Well, I wouldn't take advice from most people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not thinking about that right now. So.
Man, you're gonna get an arranged marriage soon next year.
Possibly. Hey.
I mean, as much as I'm sorry, but like as much as we joked about this thing like a few months ago when we still could, meet up and stuff.
It could very well happen.
But like, is it actually like? I think I'm memeing it too much. This may actually be like. I mean, so I've heard another like Muslim buddy of mine just saying, okay, when New Year came, he's like, okay, check, do this, check, survive another year without arranged marriage, check. I'm like, whoa, is this like actually happening in your culture?
Yeah. But mostly is okay. So like they recommend you some like woman, right? But like. If it works out, like if it works out, then it's all good. But if it doesn't work out, then you shouldn't be forced to go ahead with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like that's luckily that's like the perspective my family's taken anyways.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Say if I'm like struggling somehow or something, then it's like always nice to have that option, I guess.
To just struggling to find a lady.
Yeah. Because it's a struggle, man. Isn't it a struggle for you?
It is, yeah. I mean, how do your parents then would like decide? Would you just go on Tinder and just imagine a situation, man? Like so comedic. Holy crap. Imagine Muslim parents being like, honestly, I don't want to offend anyone by saying this shit, but like, hope that it's a thing to joke about.
Yeah.
Imagine like, oh, Johnny, we're going to have to offer our son a wife tomorrow. Have you even tried thinking about it? And it's like, I don't know. Let's go on Tinder. And they just find the first match. Just like,
oh, wow. That's like, how it's going to be now. You don't give ideas.
I mean, how would they get ideas? Or do they just have like someone they know or some...
yeah, I think it's like...
a daughter of someone, like
like a friend or something like that. But you have the choice. Like, I have the choice, at least. Like... But there's different like cultures, like Muslim cultures, like in different countries that do different things.
Okay.
Like they force it upon you, which is not right. But say if you're struggling, it's not a bad choice.
Actually, I mean, yeah, because we need to. I mean, back to the basics, Yassine. Yes. We need to fulfill our purpose, which is to reproduce.
Yeah.
And
as much as you believe that is your purpose.
Yeah, that's if you believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
You might think your purpose is to make sure humanity doesn't continue on.
Yeah. Well, it's a subjective
doing your part,
thing,
not having children.
I mean, it'd be nice to like raise someone though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Life, I guess.
Yeah, it would be cool to have a little clone of yourself running around.
Yeah.
Like someone you could like pass on the knowledge to, I guess.
Yeah, and like see if they become better than you or something.
Oh.
That's what everybody hopes.
Yeah. I mean, that was quite a range of topics, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciated the podcast. We've been like 4 times over our time limit, but you got to have those conversations sometimes. Keep us all sane. Keep us all in check. And
keep us all based,
woke based, and boinked.
Boinked, yes. We're gonna change that next week.
Well, for now it's boink. It's all good, man. So gotta say thank you to you two guys. Thank you for checking in, keeping each other sane, and hope to see you guys next week.
You too, my man.
And thank y'all for listening. See you next week. Bye.
Peace.